to be like, these guys haven't lost yet, but you know in the back of your mind. But maybe they can unlock something within themselves to really bring the fight here to Team Spirit and prove that they can be the team to bring them down. Because if you can just get one win in the best of 3 series, it's going to send you up on a real high, I reckon. So there's always that kind of counter spin. It just depends on how good the mentality is coming into this, and we shall see. So we have a draft in front of us right now. We have some interesting heroes coming out. First thing to mention, I would say, is probably this Enchantress coming out for Team Spirit. You kind of got to expect it if you let it through that first phase. And yeah, we're going to see Miposhka's Ench, and this is a very exciting pick for him.
Yeah, I think it's also a little bit of respect towards Shopify. I think this is a hero that they themselves would love to pick up, and because Spirit utilizes this hero really nicely, I think when they are first pick, they love to second phase this Enchantress, because then Shopify need to respond to 2 heroes, and then you get this like ultimate last pick in the phase that gives Yataro the comfort of, okay, I see 4 heroes, what's my carry? I know my lane's always going to be good because Enchantress is there, either healing me up or taking over the jungle to just offset that lane. And I feel like Spirit pushed the priority of this Enchantress all the way up to the first phase just because of the opponent that they are up against.
Yeah, definitely. And we saw the potency of it in their last series as well. You know, like he can go for the kind of, you know, normal Enchantress build where you kind of like get some treads and maybe what your team needs and go for like the Hurricane Pike, or he can just go hard farm as well. Sometimes Bosch just decides, hey, this one's going late. I need my money. I'm going to get a Moonshard. You know, that's what we saw from him last time, and it was crazy. But it worked. It's what they needed in that game, and did help them come back and secure yet another win versus EG. Shopify Rebellion, meanwhile, they've got this Earth Spirit. This hero, it's very strong. It does a lot of damage. It gives you a lot of rotational ability. Like, sure, we don't see him really stomp mid lanes very often, but it's not about that. It's about being active on the map. Do you think that's something which Shopify play well with?
I feel like they need to, I'd say, improve at this. They are the team that finished the groups 2 and 6, right? So I don't really want to be going, yeah, they're playing well, because they haven't had the best start. So, but I think the heroes that they are drafting themselves will kind of lean into how their overall playstyle, right? It's Arteezy's been playing a lot of these slightly greedier carries compared to other carries right now in the tournament. Think about like Terrorblades, Naga, Void, even the Muerta. So having heroes like Phoenix and Earth Spirit who like to make a lot of moves and action in the early game, either through Phoenix's reactionary moves, or like you've already mentioned, Earth Spirit being at the forefront of every engagement, that does buy time for some of the greedier carries to kind of sit behind that team fight that he knows is reliably occurring in front of him. I think, of course, just Earth Spirit should just be the mid here. Having crit on your team, there is that flexibility, but in recent time, I feel like Earth Spirit has just looked so strong on the mid lane, being able to go Vessel, Midas, or the Blade Mail Heart builds, and just take over the game for the damage that you have with Magnetize. I would be surprised if it did go to a 4 position, but still, very solid openings. And I think Spirit's response with the Kunkka, it's very nice to deal with Shopify. Like, Earth Spirit, if he looks to take the damage to the fight, and if he can't actually get the kills, then the hero can feel quite lost. And I think Kunkka, damage mitigation with your run buff, Enchantress already with the heal, like these are quite tanky heroes to try and survive from Earth Spirit, and you can match the team fight now. Phoenix has X, you have X, Torrent Storm, Tidal Wave, Boat, like you're kind of keeping toe-to-toe right now.
Yeah, definitely. Both teams kind of matching each other in terms of tempo and aggression, and they're even turning it up now as well. Skywrath and Tusk, respectively. I mean, Tusk, I'm not sure we've seen that much off. Not as popular as been previously, but still coming up around. And now Dawnbreaker comes out from Shopify as well. So what are you thinking for the roles here? Is this a offlane Dawn, I guess?
Yeah, it's an offlane Dawn. So Saberlight, coming into this series, he's played 8 matches. He'd played 8 different offlaners. So now he's actually going to play the hero for a second time. So pretty impressive stat. Again, it's impressive until you see the scoreline, but it's fine. Just ignore that. Just enjoy the stat for what it is. But no, I think for Shopify, at least, it really just goes down to they find a hero, they will execute. And I think for Crit on this Tusk, he's going to be that kind of blink buying 4 position that will marry up with the Earth Spirit and just look to do anything in the fight. And then at any point, Phoenix or Dawn can just join in to help you out. And for Spirit, we haven't seen a lot of Troll Warlord, but this hero is very good in this game because of the lane, right? Like if you just look at what lane he's playing into, it's a lot of physical damage through the tag team of Tusk, the right clicks of Dawn. You throw in some Whirling Axes, that is going to offset the laning threat that a Tusk +1 can provide. And with an Ench as well, like that's a very potent lane.
It really is, yeah. They're looking to win this safe lane, that's for sure. And, you know, Dawn, she can do stuff when she's not ahead. She can still pop that ultimate, you know, throw out stuns in the fight, etc. But you want her to be a little bit ahead. You want her to have a decent amount of farm so you can pack some punches, you know, really deal damage with that Starbreaker. That's when you see the hero come into its own. So being able to shut it down a little bit and ruin the aggressive potential of the Dawnbreaker and maybe even the Tusk as well is certainly going to be a big thing to think about for Shopify Rebellion. Also puts a lot of pressure on Arbed to do well out of this mid lane. How does that mid lane go versus the Kunkka?
It's a bit of a trade of farm between the two. Like Kunkka can get a couple more denies with just the fact that he's just has better base damage, and then you look towards Earthspirit making the rotations. It's always going to be Earthspirit seeks to fight first, and then Kunkka will see, okay, can I TP in and take that fight? And I think for Earthspirit, just